Hey everybody, this is Herbalist V with Sweet Bayou, and I'm back for another live video. I am actually at Double Trouble Village, which is now actually a landmark and a park here in New Jersey. So I'm taking my little walk for today, and I figured that I would take you along with me. So the interesting thing about Double Trouble Village is that, of course, now it's not a fully functioning village, but it used to be a milling and cranberry bog. And if you don't know, New Jersey is one of the largest importers of cranberries in the country. So it's really cool to be in a place, in a space that is very historic. And as you could see, still has a lot of its charm and its historical value. So I just entered in the park, and here's a couple of historical buildings that aren't really functioning anymore. I don't even think you can really go in them. But again, it's cool to be able to see how this land used to look and used to be previously. I believe the house ahead that you see is actually one of the places where they produced or maybe washed the cranberry or packaged it. Not really sure. So that's there. Oh, sorry, I dropped something on the ground. And then we have this building here. Again, not really sure what the function of it was, but I can imagine maybe it was a house that maybe some of the people stayed at or lived in. And all right, we're coming up to this place. So this is actually the cranberry sorting and packing house. So I guess I was kind of right. So this is the place where cranberries would be packed and sorted and sent out to whatever location it needed to be sent out to. All right, and then I'm going to curve around this way and show you this really cool path. So I believe that they had stopped producing and growing cranberries, I want to say in 97 or 2007, one of those 2 years. And now it's really just a space for people to be able to come and, of course, learn about the history of this location, but also to come and hike. I believe there's 205 acres, if I read that correctly, of space. So this actually in front of me used to be one of the bogs, and as you could tell, it's not functioning anymore. But this used to actually be one of the places where cranberries would grow. Of course, there are still many places here in New Jersey that continue to grow cranberries, and then, of course, produce them and ship them out. There's a place that's maybe about, give or take, 20 minutes from here that is historic and it's actually still functioning. And there's a whole village that's been built around that space as well that produce and provide cranberries. Hey, Anthony, saying hello to you. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you so much for being a part of my journeys. I have been good. I've been staying out of trouble, like usual. How have you been? Hey, Stephanie, waving to you. Hope that you're doing okay. I would love to know where everybody's from. Anthony, I believe that you are in New Jersey, right? Or am I wrong about that? I might be wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. Anthony's in St. Lucia. I hope the weather is there. The weather there is fantastic, like it is here. It's about 78 degrees here today. It was in the 90s earlier, and then we were supposed to get a thunderstorm, but it looks like the thunderstorm clouds are moving through. But we did get a cold front that came in, so it's definitely a huge difference from what it was a day or two ago when it was in the mid 90s. So I'm taking full advantage of this because I really try to be careful when it's too hot out and too humid. For some reason, I don't really do fairly well in those types of climates, being outside for long periods of time. So whenever it's cooler out or even freezing out, I tend to like to be outdoors, taking walks. Oh, Anthony said it's dark in St. Lucia. Stephanie said it is afternoon there. It is probably about, let's see, 8:15 here in New Jersey. You know what's really interesting? I haven't been to this park in a little while, and I'm noticing how the bogs have really filled in. I believe this actually used to be a bog here as well. And as you can see, there's trees and all sorts of things growing. All right, Anthony, looks like we're on the same time zone, which is cool. And Stephanie, you're from America? What part of America are you from? I'm originally from New Jersey, born and raised. Um, I love being in New Jersey because I am lucky enough to be able to be in places such as this. And we have farmland, we have beaches, we have mountain ranges. I'm about an hour and a half from New York, probably about an hour and 15 minutes from Philadelphia, um, really close to Boston, really close to Maryland, DC. Um, so many cool places that we have in New Jersey and even in the surrounding areas. Yeah, it is beautiful over here. I absolutely love nature. I love walking in it. I love being in it. It just always just helps my mental health, of course, my physical health. All right, so I want to point here. I think that this area here used to be a park as well. So when I used to take walks here, probably haven't been here maybe in, I want to say maybe 2 years, maybe a little less. A lot of these spaces basically were not filled. It was kind of swampy, and it was low. And now it's just crazy because the landscape has completely changed. All right, Stephanie, I'm just taking a walk. I'm not really doing much of anything besides that. I was indoors earlier, cleaning, doing chores, working on some content and things for this coming week for Sweet Bayou. I actually have a festival that I'm going to be attending on Juneteenth, so I'm trying to make sure that I create as much product as possible. And then I have a couple of other events coming up and in the next couple of days. So I was really just trying to clean, organize, and then get prepared to start making more products. The interesting thing about this park is that, like I said before, it used to be a village where cranberries were grown. It's called the Cranberry Bog, and I believe they stopped producing cranberries here. I want to say in 2017 or 2007, one of those 2 years. And now it's basically just a space where people can enjoy nature and take walks and all that good stuff. Can't believe how light it still is. Usually here in New Jersey, during the summertime, it probably gets dark around, I know today the sun probably sets around this time, but of course the light from the sun definitely lingers. And then during the winter months, unfortunately, we are one of the places that utilize daylight savings time, so we end up losing light later in the day. And it usually sets around 4:30 or so at the peak. And then, of course, it begins to get lighter and lighter out. But it's just crazy how light is still out. Um, Going back to the comments. Hi, sir. Sorry, I can't see the last bit of your name, but hello, hello. And Anthony wants to know if I plan on visiting another state. I am definitely going to be doing a lot, hopefully a lot of traveling this summer and a little bit later. Um, I am lucky enough and fortunate enough to have developed really great friendships and close relationships with people from all walks of life. And because of that, I have people who live in England, in Maine. I have family who live in the Carolinas, so I think I'll be finally visiting their place very soon. Um, Probably going to New York, which, isn't really traveling much because, again, it's not too far from where I live now. Um, and just trying to do a lot more of that because I've been so busy, and I'm coming into an era and an age where I really just want to enjoy life a little bit more. So here we are. We're at the bridge area, and then I'm not going to go down this path because it's starting to get dark, so I'm going to turn around soon. But there's a path that goes through here, and it's so cool because I'll show you a little bit of it. A little trail that goes through here, and um, it's just enveloped with trees, and it's kind of magical. But going back this way, here's the bridge, so I'm going to turn back around, show you a little bit more of nature, because nature's the best. Look how peaceful it is here. It's incredible. And the cool thing is it's not too buggy here today, which is awesome. But when it does get buggy, I always pull out my bug spray, which I do sell on my website, www.sweetbayou.com, if you're interested. And that really helps manage bugs when they're out and about. All right. I think I'm going to end the video here because I do want to take some photos and, just enjoy being in the space a little bit more. So I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope wherever you are, whether it be in St. Lucia or right down the street from me, I hope you're doing well. As always, you can always subscribe, turn on your notification bell to know when I'm going live. And I have a lot of great videos, nature videos, herb videos, things about health, wellness, and holistic living. So I always try to provide that because I know in this day and age, self-care is so important, and sometimes we don't necessarily practice self-care as best as we should. So if you want to come to a place that promotes your well-being, your health, please, please feel free to come back and enjoy more videos and more lives of me and nature and all that other good stuff. So I hope that you all have a fantastic morning, a beautiful afternoon, and an even lovelier evening. And I'll see you next time. Be safe, everybody.